having trouble functioning because I'm wearing rubber gloves and I've got a seashell on my face. This is not playing well. It hurts so bad. How do cosplayers do this? Rachel, this seems like hell. Now I have to do like a flip.
You do that a lot too.
I do.
You do that a lot when cosplaying. Yeah.
This is a special kind of whoo. Okay, so Tim, you were able to take the first point from pitch. Is it worse now with me not?
You look like Aquaman's grandmother.
Yeah.
You can talk to all the fish in the sea, but you can't call your mother? Come on. It's Aquaman. It's Aquaman.
Nice.
We're in creative control round 1. As you can tell, we are on par.
Falling apart.
We are in the championship round. We are competing for the Stanley Cup. It says Excelsior. It's got Captain America on it. It's got a captain. Bill, Tim, Rachel, this is about to get very, very intense, but I can't expect to be doing this all by myself. So, Bill, you're forfeiting your chance to compete.
Well, actually, Chris, I will be competing.
Oh, crap. Well, I need a number 2. Do we have anybody?
I think we might.
Hey, Aquanana.
So, no? No, we don't?
Hey, Aquanana.
Oh, are you like Zombie Garth? Oh, he's old Taylor Swift.
That's me.
You're gonna do puns all night, aren't you?
No, I would never do that. That would be me.
Okay.
That's a song
title. All right, so you guys are all reigning champions.
This is blocking my view of 10.
I'll hold eye contact the entire time I talk.
I like your back.
I decide who wins. I want attention, damn it. So, we've all competed in creative control, but let's go over the rules really quick. We have 3 categories. Tim's going to be able to pick the one that we are all going to be debating. You're going to give me your answer, and then you're going to have 60 seconds. You have your timer. Okay, let's go get that while I do the rules. 60 seconds to do opening rounds, 90 seconds to rebut. I really want us to get into it and why your pick is better than everybody else's. Tear it down, because remember, points of tearing somebody down only help you. And then finally, 30 seconds to close it all out. And Sarah's back.
And Fred.
Sarah's back.
Let's talk about some topics. Tim, survival of the geekiest. Part of a balanced killer.
Ooh.
And you don't know Jack Skellington. That's right, Halloween continues.
That was close.
It's a shtick. It's a shtick.
I like it.
I'm doing a shtick.
You're
What
trying.
are we talking about today?
You're a character actor.
It's the part of a balanced killer.
I work hard on these. Well, part of a balanced killer must mean there has something to do with cereal. My friend Jeffrey Dahmer comes out this week. Which serial killer deserves their own film or television treatment?
Katy Perry.
Yeah, she's killing it on the charts, but not.
I have 11 million more Pandora followers than her.
Keep saying I.
How
It's
much
not
research did you do before,
None.
More than he's ever done to compete on the show.
0 hours.
All right, Tim, lead us off. What are you picking?
Maurizio
I can't even write these.
Avola.
Can you spell that?
M-A-U-R.
I'm just going to put Mario.
Yeah, okay.
Rachel.
Marianne Cotton.
Mary Ann Cotton. I'm just going to write Cotton. We're going to do shorthand. Bill.
It's a non-traditional answer, Chris, but Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden. Is that a new guy?
I don't think he's a serial killer.
Yeah, that mass murderer. Does mass murder count as serial?
So serial killer is somebody that, I'll defend it before, or I'll have another one on the backup. A serial killer is somebody that kills people in the same way repeatedly. He blows people up repeatedly.
There's a psychological aspect, Aquanana.
Yeah, no, I get it. But Osama bin Laden, can you say that he's a murderer?
Yeah. U.S. government certainly did.
He's a terrorist who orchestrated. But would you consider that
Would you consider a law firm a corporation?
Yes, I literally Googled it. I did my research.
But was he
I was
the
like
one
Anthony trying to figure out a Taylor Swift song.
I've done no research. I swear to God.
What do you think? We're going to let Osama The panel's obviously chomping at the bit to knock it down.
Forget it, I moved on. Jack the Ripper.
That's better, that's a serial killer, or some is not.
All right, I tend to agree.
Wait, but there's been movies about Jack the Ripper.
It's fine. You can have as many things as possible.
Oh, I was thinking of. Okay.
No. It's just who deserves it.
Oh,
Oh.
Even Jeffrey Dahmer has had a movie before and has another movie. Ed Gein has 4 movies and then.
well,
responsible-
that being the case, I would like to change my answer to H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes. I enjoy his electronics. Yes, what do you like?
He's dressed as one.
Yes.
I like it.
Okay. All right, Tim. 60 seconds are going to be on the clock. Ready, set, geek.
All right, so Maurizio Avola, it's kind of an ready? It's kind of an untraditional pick because he is actually a mafia hitman who killed over 80 people. So he killed them all the same way, gunshot every time. But his case is unique because he is actually in prison, but he is due to get out of jail in 5 years. So when he gets out of jail, he wants to resume his life with his wife and kids who are in witness protection. The only reason he is alive is because he started working with the Italian government while he was still killing people for the mafia, so he could get a lighter sentence on things and he could help them out and maybe keep himself out of jail at some point. So you can create a limited television series that can go all through him doing his work for the mafia, working his way up, how he started working with the government, and then you can also play on the part of when he gets out of jail. They have already tried to have someone kill him while he's been in jail. So they're going to try to kill him whenever he gets out. It could be about him acclimating back into normal life.
Good pitch. It's a solid pitch.
Sounds like there's some bad blood between some of those people.
Oh, Christ. All right, H.H. Holmes.
I get it.
Are we?
5 seconds later. I love the delayed
5 minutes
response.
to get the damn
Yeah.
costume.
I thought it was like maybe Cactus Jack at first. I was like, what's happening?
Bang, bang.
Cactus Jack.
Dude, love.
All right,
That's
Rachel. H.H. Holmes, one of the most notorious serial killers of all time.
So he's the most notorious serial killer. Not only that, there is a potential movie that's going to be done about him starring Leonardo DiCaprio, but outside of that, there really hasn't been a movie about him, which I find mind-blowing because he's, what we know of at least, the first serial killer in America. Not to mention, not only was he the first, he killed over like 200 people in a murder house, which is just like, he set the bar so high for being the first serial killer. He just really went all out, in my opinion. He was charming and successful, which, like you see that in movies, like, oh, the doctor's actually a serial killer that murders his patient. But like, he in real life was very charming and very successful, like had lots of money, he owned property. I believe he was a doctor or associated with medicines.
What time frame was this?
1800s?
I wanted to say.
I want to say 1800s.
That's time.
Okay. And of course, we've got the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
The Ripper!
So the number of reasons that Jack the Ripper would be a good series, I believe, because there's never been something told from the perspective of the killer when it comes to Jack the Ripper. One of the main reasons is it's never been discovered who was actually Jack the Ripper. And so something similar to what the movie Zodiac did, where you kind of have a couple of different theories, but it never actually purports to have one theory. I think you could do that from the perspective of Jack the Ripper, and it could be a really interesting thing in the terms of, as you're watching the show, each episode, let's call it like a limited run, like a 10-episode thing, each episode could be from the perspective of the killer, but from who that writer or director thinks is the killer, who was the person. And so you kind of get the theories and you see...
So each episode would be from a different
perspective.
subject.
Yeah, exactly right. And so you see the different perspectives of who could it be, who do you think it is?
That's interesting. That's a cool way of thinking about it. I really like all 3 of these.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. And all 3 of these would make really fantastic films. Tim, I'm surprised that's not being greenlit right now. I'm not surprised that somebody's making... that it took this long for H.H. Holmes to get any sort of recognition. I listened to the last podcast on the left, cheap plug, and their episodes on him are phenomenal. Same with Jack the Ripper. It's 5 episodes where they go through each of the suspects, and it's absolutely fascinating. And
I heard Jack the Ripper's a girl now.
okay,
You are loving that shtick.
yeah.
Every time you move.
What's with the gum?
I got
Oh my god! All right.
Careful.
So Tim, I want to hear 90 seconds on why is yours more viable? What's going to make it stand out? We got a little bit into the. I think everybody's shooting for a series here. It seems like. So I want to hear who's doing it. If you had to put it on a channel, where are you putting it? And since everybody's doing a show, and frame it for me. How are we going to make this happen? So Tim, let's start it off.
So Netflix is going to do this, and what is going to set it apart is this. The first thing is that this person, you can actually have it so the people watching it are going to feel for this guy. You know, he's trying to, you know, rectify his sins here and get back into a normal life. So you can introduce the family element to this. People can get behind this guy and want to root for him. The other two, I mean, you know how many people they killed. They're notorious. We don't even know who Jack the Ripper is. So you can't really develop any kind of affection for that person because you don't even know who it is. The second thing is they both have an ending. This guy, he's still alive. You can do whatever you want with this series because he is about to be out in a couple years, maybe sooner. You can have all kind of characters. You can develop people for the police that are trying to help keep him alive, protect his family. Other characters that have, you know, they're trying to get him out of the way for the mafia. The other two, you can't have that long of a series because there is an end. Eventually, you're going to have to end that. And until this guy's out of the picture, I mean, you can do whatever you want with this series. The sky's
Are
the
you
limit.
looking to Americanize it, or are you going to keep it Italian?
I would say you would have to Americanize it, and you know, with the kind of draw behind anything that's put out involving the mafia in the United States, I think that would be an absolute hit for sure. And you just have so many liberties with it.
Okay.
This guy's chosen this and
It's almost exactly what?
That's time now.
Yeah.
He chose this in The Sopranos.
Yes, he's definitely got a motif
Italian.
going on.
Mm-hmm.
I like
is
that one.
Megan Italian?
I'm half
I
Italian.
like the forgiveness aspect because Band-Aids don't fix bullet holes.
Oh my god.
You should go to the next person, Chris.
Not in your wildest dream. Thank you.
Sit down!
You're causing a lot of bad blood right now, and I would just.
I'm lactose intolerant.
This is going home with me today.
I like
Bill's gonna win it just by not getting involved in the pun war. All right, Rachel, H.H. Holmes and the Murder House.
So again, it's just like surprising that this hasn't been done. I want to say though, in my opinion, I'm a big fan. I've read, Alan Moore's From Hell, and I've seen the movie, and I've played video games with characters who are supposed to be like Jack the Ripper, and I've watched Ripper Street, and I just feel like it's just everywhere. Like, everybody knows that it's unknown. Everybody has their theories, and I just feel like it's just so overdone. Not that I don't think it's a good idea. I just think it's just all over the place. I want to say about the guy he said, I don't remember his name. I apologize. If he's a mafia,
Super Mario.
Super Mario. If he's a mafia member, that doesn't quite hit full like what I think of as a serial killer. Contracted hits, that's more of like a mercenary. If he's doing something, it's because they told him to, as opposed to like H.H. Holmes just tortured and killed people just because he was insane. And nobody told him to, nobody was paying him to. He really didn't gain anything out of it other than like he sold their bones sometimes. But it was a pleasure for him. Like he was insane.
He's one of the
And-
first documented sociopaths.
Yeah. And so he defines what a serial killer is. And I feel like once you learn about him and then you go back and you watch certain horror movies and characters that are developed, like you can tell that he's there.
Okay. Bill, what do you have to say about the over-serialization of Jack the Ripper?
So lots of things get redone over and over, but the key is it done well?
DC Comics.
DC Comics. The key is it done well? But the other key too is the fact that we've never seen it done like this before. You have a situation that's kind of like a Black Mirror, where you have a different cast and crew come in each episode and create a whole new thing around the different character theory that they think is the suspect of Jack the Ripper. One other point to be made is to tear down these ones. Mafia Hitman. So I got lambasted for saying Osama bin Laden was a serial killer, but a Mafia Hitman's a serial killer? That's a little weird to me, I'm just saying. The other thing, too, is the fact that you want to make him a sympathetic person. That's been done 1,000 times. Let's make serial killers sympathetic. Anybody watch Hannibal? Anybody watch the Silence of the not Silence of the Lambs, but Hannibal, the TV show, more than anything, it is about making a serial killer sympathetic. And that thing has been done before. Dexter, the entire show is based around that. As far as H.H. Holmes is concerned, maybe it's not the exact person that we've seen before, but the idea of, I have this house of torture and this house of pain, and that's a name of an Irish rap group. But that idea and these ideas that we've seen in movies before have been done 1,000. The entire Saw series is based around a house or an area that's made to kill people.
Okay, I think that's a fair argument, and I'm going to put that to all three of you guys in your 30-second final stuff. Yes.
I'm into music, and I'd like to know how they're going to score it.
You're into music, and you want to know how they're going to score it.
Score it.
Okay.
Score.
No, I get you.
Because that's really important to build suspense in a serial killer show.
My seashell brawl's falling apart.
I'm trying to pay attention to the details of your show. You should probably pay attention.
You can't. I'm dressed like an asshole. Okay, so let's. I mean, for
Bonus points.
for bonus points. But one of the things I really want to hear is all of you guys have archetypes in your pitches. Okay, we have seen the mafia member who's trying to be redeemed, even if you want to go into like Donnie Brasco and some stuff like that, and The Departed has elements of things like that. And H.H. Holmes often imitated what's the counterpoint of being original with it. And I really dig the Black Mirror idea of it. I want to know what's going to really differentiate each episode that's going to make it that much different if you're seeing the same kills over the course of an hour. So there has to be some discrepancies outside of just the artistic value of different people coming in. So I want to see what's going to separate episode to episode to episode. And I'm going to get that in 30 seconds, and if we get a chance, let's hear about how we're going to score it, how it's going to sound, and how it's going to look. So that's a lot of information in 30 seconds. Are you ready, Tim?
Yeah.
Does he have a choice?
Yeah.
Speak slowly. I threw all of my pens at you.
And go.
All right. Well, Christopher Nolan's going to score mine. Martin Scorsese is going to be a producer. I don't know if you wanted to know about that. Robert De Niro is going to be the main character. Thank you. He has to be. He has to be. So, but you want to know like how it's gonna be shot.
What makes it different than any other mafia movie? Or what's going to really and they kind of hit you on the pause that. I'll give you a little more time.
Sorry.
What makes this that much more unique as to, like, we even just saw Black Mask and we've seen...
Well, actually, Chris, it's Black Mirror.
Black Mask with Johnny Depp.
I wasn't listening.
Thank you.
I don't like Johnny.
Well, actually, shut up. We just saw all of these movies kind of hitting on a similar subject. All of you guys have things that are similar. So I want to know what makes it different, what makes it stand out, and what's going to sit there with the studio executive and say, we have to put this on the air. It's not like anything that people have seen, when everything that we've heard so far is stuff that we've seen. So I'm going to give them the full 30. I'm going to give everybody that time. Okay? Let's go.
All right, so what's going to set this apart is going to be the different angles that it's going to come from. You're going to have 3 different sides where it's coming from his the mafia side, what their plan is, the police side, what their plan is, and Maurizio's side. So each little section can be like a show like The Walking Dead, where they'll feature just 2 characters for the entire episode one time, and some of the main characters won't even be in it. So you have a lot of liberties with that, to where you can keep this going for multiple seasons, and it's going to make the most amount of money.
Time.
Okay. Rachel.
They're getting 40 seconds.
Okay, that's fine.
Are we?
He has to talk
going?
about
I know.
Did he start it already?
He's starting it now.
Okay. Well, I would want the show produced by Hulu, because I recently watched the one about the prostitutes, harlots, and Handmaid's Tale. I would want to keep it as starring Leonardo DiCaprio, because he is very charming and he's a fella with hella good hair. And I don't want him to be sympathized with. I think that a serial killer show or a serial killer movie should be for people who are horror fans, and I don't think that he should, I don't want them to go for a sympathy angle. I think it will be about him being a sociopath, actually sociopathic.
Okay. Bill, 40 seconds.
I don't think he got my joke, but I know
No,
He didn't.
He didn't.
He did.
I didn't hear it.
He's talking about you.
No, I said, I don't know
I
if you
got
got
the
my
joke.
joke.
Hella good hair.
Yeah.
It's a line
The
from
fellow
Taylor
over
Swift.
there with the hella good hair.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Look what you made me do.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Just shake that one off.
Yeah. Oh, but he gets that one.
No deep cut Taylor puns.
That's new Taylor.
Yeah. All right, Bill.
No,
Yes.
hella good hair's in Shake It Off. To the fellow over there with the hella good
there you
hair.
go.
I'm just gonna shake it off.
Walking all
Come
over my
on,
time.
Taylor, get your music together.
So what's going to make mine different?
Sorry, I'm dead.
What's going to make mine different is the
How
fact
is
that
Taylor Swift absconded with this whole show? Okay. Bill, 40 seconds. Are you ready?
So what's going to make mine different is the fact that you have so I said this different cast and crew earlier. I'm going to change that a little bit. A different crew, writer, director, score for each episode, but the same cast and the same characters that you see, and you kind of learn different things about the characters through the different perspectives that we're showing in terms of who's the actual suspect. And so it's almost like Lost. I talked about Lost earlier. There are flashbacks. You learn little things about the characters in episode 4 that if you'd have known in episode 1 would have kind of elevated it. And so the rewatchability is going to be high. In terms of score, it's going to be a lot of different people doing it, but I think Trent Reznor overseeing it the whole time would be really neat.
Yeah, I kind of got a David Fincher vibe.
Yeah.
All right.
I have opinions.
Okay, let's hear them. Are they Taylor Swift related?
I'm trying to focus on the show.
Okay, I appreciate that. Let's go.
I think that Rachel's the only one who mentioned the serial killer things, such as sociopathic nature. I really like that.
Which show would you want to tune into every single week?
I'm worried that it's difficult to watch a protagonist that you are not supposed to sympathize with, but I think I would watch the H.H. Holmes show first.
Okay. I really do like all of these. And
I
think,
do too.
I think every single one of these should be greenlit. Holmes is a very interesting character, and I think a deep dive into him works. And yes, there have been more sympathetic views. You guys both brought that up to kind of knock down Tim's. We've just seen Bates Motel, and we've just seen all these other things, which is funny because yours, the basis is people that have been less sympathetic. So it's a slight twist. It's like I really think that you've got something with every episode being different from a different suspect, and how that plays into how they murdered and who actually is. And you're still drawing your own conclusions, but you're examining it from all these different aspects. And having just done deep dives into both of yours, there's a lot of material. And then being able to do the 3 sides, it does remind me of The Departed, or actually it reminds me more of Internal Affairs, the original Hong Kong version of that, where they really did divide everything amongst those times. Yes. You want to actually something?
No, I'll wait until you award the point, then I'll do it.
Okay.
film the last kiss between him and his wife?
Did they film the last kiss between him and
It's
his
another song.
wife?
Last
Yeah,
kiss.
you guys like a super fan up here.
Sorry, I listened to the whole
1800.
album.
Okay, so I dig it. But the one who I think has the most fleshed out idea of what this show is going to be is Bill. I'm going to give Bill the point. It's not begrudgingly. You won it. Nice job. What did you want to
Thanks.
say to me?
It's called Infernal Affairs, not Internal Affairs.
Well, that makes me infern.
That's not a thing.
That was a terrible joke.
All right, so Bill is going to be in control for round 2. We're coming up. Trophy's getting a little shinier. It's getting a little closer. Tim's going to be raring to go. Rachel's raring to go. Let's see how it happens.
I think Rachel should have won that, but now she's going to learn that there's nothing better than revenge.
The only blunt thing I have is the trophy I just bought. And they're going to make a serial show about, like, the YouTube killer.
You got it back.
Look what you made him do.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
All right, we're going to be right back. Maybe not Anthony.